Welcome back to the channel. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the holiday schedule and three things to keep in mind as you and the narcissist are in this custody battle. And a part of that, the court is going to ask you what your proposed parenting plan is. And in that parenting plan, you're going to have a holiday schedule. And so these are three things that you want to keep in mind as you think about what you want your holiday schedule to look like. And for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Nasheia Smith. I am a Maryland-based attorney. I've been doing family law since about 2000 and, oh man, what year? Oh, we're in 2025, 2019. I want to say 2019. I worked for a nonprofit organization where I assisted over 5,000 families with their family law questions. So basically, I ran like a self-help center for those who could not afford attorneys. And then in 2021, I joined my law firm where I've handled high conflict family law cases from 2021 up until I want to say maybe recently. I'm kind of taking a break temporarily from doing a lot of high conflict stuff. And so now I'm doing more of the estate planning side. I still do some family law, but this is my way to give back to help those in family law because I have a passion for it. But, you know, after a while, you kind of have to take a break just to kind of regroup because there's a lot of conflict involved, as you are well aware, when it comes to family law. So, for those of you who are new, again, welcome. For those of you who are returning back, welcome back. And so we're going to get straight to this video. So 3 things that you want to keep in mind as you think about your holiday parenting plan. Now, why did I make this video? Because we know when you are co-parenting with a narcissist, you need to have as much detail in your parenting plan as possible. Why? Because that's going to reduce the amount of lies. Oh, I didn't know I was supposed to drop the child off at 5 o'clock. It's also going to reduce the amount of conflict and the amount of communication. Okay. So we want to make sure that we have this holiday schedule down to a T and make sure that this parenting plan is as thorough as possible. So without further ado, we're going to talk about 3 things that you want to consider. First thing, you want to make sure that you define the holiday. So what do I mean by that? So what you don't want is just to say Johnny is going to be with dad on Christmas and Johnny will be with me on Thanksgiving, right? Or Johnny will be with dad on Christmas 2025 and then thereafter we will alternate. And then Johnny will be with me on Thanksgiving for 2025 and then we will alternate. No, how do you define Christmas? Like, what does that mean? Is that from Christmas Eve until Christmas Day? Is that from the day that Johnny gets out of school for winter break up until Christmas morning? Like, how are we defining Christmas, right? How are we defining Thanksgiving? So you want to make sure that you think about that and have that spelled out so that way there's no confusion, okay? The second thing you want to think about is whether you want to split the holiday or if you want to alternate. So for example, this actually works well. Well, I guess that's more subjective, but this can work if you have parties who live nearby within maybe 10, 15 minutes. And for, say, for example, for Christmas, they want to split the Christmas holiday. So that means one parent will maybe have from Christmas Eve up until noon on Christmas Day. And then the other parent will have noon on Christmas Day until, I don't know, 5, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock on Christmas Day. So that's one way that you can split the holiday. Or you may decide to alternate. So one year, dad gets Johnny for Christmas. The next year, mom gets Johnny for Christmas. And so one thing you want to keep in mind though, because a lot of times when you're doing this, what happens? You're under stress, you're in court, you're in litigation, and you're trying to just finalize this because you want this thing to be over. And so you don't think about, you may agree to, okay, we'll just split the day, whatever, fine, let's just move on, I want to be done. But then what happens a year from now or 2 years from now? You get a new partner and the family wants to travel for the holiday. Or maybe you want to go to your in laws or you want to go see your family who may be in a different state for the holiday, but you can't because now you're bound to this holiday schedule that says that Johnny has to be with his dad or Johnny has to be with his mom at 12 p.m. on Christmas or at 5 p.m. on Christmas. So that makes it very difficult to travel. So that's something to just think about. The other thing that I want you to keep in mind is that any agreement that you and the other parent comes to that deviates from whatever the holiday schedule is, you want to make sure that it's reduced to a writing. So text message or email. What do I mean by that? Well, let's say, for example, in your holiday schedule, it says that Johnny will be with mom for 4th of July every year, right? And so the two of you have a side agreement to say, you know what, dad comes and say, well, you know what, I know the order says that, the agreement says that John needs to be with you every year, but I would really like if he could come with me this year because we're having a family reunion, and I really will hope that you would allow him to go, right? And so let's say that that happens. Well, let's say the mother in this example is like the narcissist. She's the narcissist, and she's mad because she asked for some other side favor, and then you tell her no, and so now she wants to backtrack and say, oh well, now Johnny can't go, and if you take Johnny to that family reunion, I'm going to call the police, I'm going to show them this custody order, and I'm going to accuse you of kidnapping charges. Okay, so any side agreement that the two of you have that deviates from that order, and this is, you don't have to do this when you have two co-parents who are civil, who know how to co-parent well. I'm talking about, right? And that's why you're here on this channel. When you are co-parenting with a narcissist, you cannot trust that person. So you want to make sure that you have everything documented in the event that there's an issue that comes up, or they threaten you, they threaten to call the police, and so that way you're not walking around with all this fear and anxiety thinking that you're going to go to jail. Okay? All right. So quick recap. First thing you want to do when it pertains to the holiday schedule is you want to define the holiday. What does Christmas mean? What does Thanksgiving mean? What does Mother's Day mean? Does Mother's Day mean I'm going to have the child? And I know this may sound a little extreme, but again, we have to be specific. Does that mean at 12 a.m.? When the clock strikes 12 a.m. and it's Mother's Day, I have the child up until the following 12 a.m.? Or does that mean when the child wakes up, right? Maybe 9 a.m. until 7 p.m. Like, you want to make sure you have that defined. Second, are you going to split or alternate the holidays? Meaning, are you going to split the actual day, or are you going to alternate? And don't forget to think about how they can impact the future as far as like if you ever want to travel. Third, any agreement that you make that deviates from your holiday schedule that's in your parenting plan, you want to make sure you have that reduced to a writing. That way, if this person threatens to call the police on you, or they want to file a fake contempt action against you, you can have that as your evidence when you have to go to court. Okay. So if this was helpful for you, let me know by hitting the like button, and please continue to leave your comments down below in the comment section. I've been loving the comments. I really love engaging with you all in the comment section and answering questions that I can. Again, I've said this disclaimer many times, but I'll say it again for those of you who may be new watching. I can't give independent, specific legal advice, meaning legal advice that's applicable to your specific situation, but I can't answer like generic legal questions. So please continue to leave your questions down below. And one last thing before we wrap up, I just wanted to leave you, because I know that I mentioned maybe earlier on in maybe in my about section, I'm not really sure exactly where it may be, but I talk about or explain how my channel is a little different from some of the other legal channels you may see. And the difference between me and some of those other channels is that I like to incorporate scripture. You know, I'm a Christian. I would tell my testimony, but that's not why you're here, right? So I'll save that for now. But I really do believe in the power of Jesus, and it's the reason why that I'm here. It's the reason why I'm in this community. It's the reason why I'm serving the way that I'm serving, and you know, everything that I do, it's an honor back to God. Because if it had not been for the Lord, okay, let me tell you. All right, I'll stop it, leave it there. But anyway, so with that being said, I want to leave you with a scripture. I think I want to start to incorporate just more scriptures in my videos, because I know that for many of you, you're hurting. You're dealing with a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety. Your nervous system is like severely compromised, and you don't know how to move forward. Okay, I know. I can only imagine what you're going through. And so I want to leave you with this scripture just as a source of comfort. And this is Psalm 34:18. And the scripture reads, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." And so I would encourage you to write that scripture down on an index card and read that every day when you first wake up in the morning and right before you go to sleep, as you're going through this custody battle, as you're having to navigate the pain of maybe the betrayal or the hurt that you suffered from the relationship, and now you have to navigate going through a custody battle with this person who has hurt you, and you just don't see how things could ever get better for you. And you may feel like you're holding on by a thread, or being, is that how they say it? You're being held on by a thread. I don't know. But you get the point I'm trying to make, right? That you don't know how you're going to make it, right? But yet you're still expected to show up. You're expected to prepare for this case. You're expected to do this without an attorney. You have all these expectations on you, and you're trying to heal from brokenness. And so I would encourage you to read that scripture, to meditate on that scripture, and to remember that you're not in this journey alone. I'm not there with you in your home or in your car or wherever you may be watching this video, or you may be watching this video at work. I'm not there physically with you, but just know that you're not alone. You're not alone. And remember, until next time, just take one step at a time. That's not typically my motto, but I'm going with it today. Take one step at a time. Show yourself grace on this process, compassion, self-care, and it's going to be okay. I know it may not feel like it right now, but in the end, it will be fine. It will be okay, right? We have no control over the narcissist. So we don't focus on things that we cannot control. We have no control over what the judge is going to decide. But what we can control is our mindset. What we can control is our own individual healing. What we can control is setting our own individual boundaries. What we can control is gaining knowledge like you're doing now to prepare ourselves to give us the best fighting chance in the courtroom. And so I just want you to remember that, okay? Until next time, be blessed, stay blessed, take care. Bye-bye.